Honors Pre-Calculus students, welcome to your notes on matrix applications. We're picking application problems from throughout chapters 7 and 8, so there's not really an exact section number that goes with this, but we're going to use matrices with these multivariable systems rather than trying to solve these by hand. I would think most of you would probably be happy about that. Alright, so here we're just going to do two examples together, and then you guys come to class and work. 3 families attend a Sporting KC game. The Meanahans spend $23.50 on concessions as they purchase 2 hot dogs, 3 Cokes, and 1 popcorn. You can see what the Pradzinskis and the Cabanas purchase at the same game. So what is the cost for each of the 3 items? Now by the 3 items, what we're talking about would be the hot dogs. We're going to try to keep them in order here. So this is the cost for a hot dog. Y could represent the cost for a Coke, and Z could represent the cost for popcorn. Alright, so let's set up our 3 equations here. The first one I'm going to look at is the Meanahans family, and so they purchased 2 hot dogs, that's 2x, 3 Cokes, and 1 popcorn, and that was equal to $23.50. Now for the Pradzinskis, they purchased 4 hot dogs, 2 Cokes, and 2 popcorns, and their cost is $33. And then finally the Cabanas spend $45 by purchasing 1 hot dog, 6 Cokes, and 4 popcorns. Alright, now let's go ahead and solve this. Instead of using row operations, which would obviously work, as you know, it's much simpler to go ahead and plug this into a matrix. So that's what we're going to do. I've actually got this matrix typed in my calculator already. I could take a look at it if we wanted, and there is the matrix. And again, if I go to the calculator to enter it, I'd go to second matrix, and then I go over to edit, and this is a 3x4, and you can see the matrix right there. I know it's kind of small numbers, but I think you can figure out what's going on. Now I'm going to quit out of there, and what I want to do is get the reduced row echelon form. So I'm going to go second matrix again and go over to the math menu, and I find it faster to click up instead of pressing down a whole bunch of times to get to B, which is reduced row echelon form. And we want our calculator to find the reduced row echelon of the matrix A that we just stored, and so we're going to go ahead and press enter, and you can see the results right there. Now let's make sure we put some meaning to this. What does that mean? Well, that means that hot dogs were $4 and the Coke was $3.50. And then finally the popcorn was $5. Most importantly in this problem though is all the families had a great time, because soccer is the greatest sport in the world, as we all know. Alright, let's take a look at one more example. Alright, so the second and final problem we're going to look at today. Joy is eating her favorite meal: steak, baked potatoes, and green beans. 1 serving of steak has the information you see there, baked potatoes, green beans. You can see the calories, carbohydrates, and sodium for each. Then at the end it says for the meal, Joy consumed 680 calories, 15 grams of carbs, and 875 milligrams of sodium. How many servings of each food did Joy eat? Sometimes starting at the end on a problem like this is a good idea. How many servings of each food? So what we're talking about then would be, those are your variables. So this would be servings of steak. Y could be servings of baked potato. And then Z could be your servings of green beans. The only reason I'm putting them in that order is just simply because this is laid out pretty nicely for us, and so we can keep it in that order. Now when we set up our system, really we have 3 different equations. You have to think about how you're going to pick these out, and sometimes we're tempted to try to do an equation that deals with steak, okay, but steak's one of the variables. What we need to look at is, how about calories? Okay, if we were to give our first equation a name, I would call it calories. And that equation would look like this. We'd have 250 from each serving of steak. We would have 200 from each serving of baked potato, or each baked potato. And then we'd have 80 from each serving of green beans. And we know that Joy consumed a total of 680. Okay, the next equation would be carbs. So the steak is 0, so if you want to write it, you can, 0x, or you can just leave that blank. Let's see, 22 would come from each serving of baked potato, and then 15 from each serving of green beans. And again, it says that she consumed a grand total of 15 grams. Okay, and then finally, sodium would be the last one we're going to look at. And for sodium, that's sodium chloride for those of you that are not in the chemistry world, but and that's salt. Okay, so maybe I should have just done Na. Oh, interesting discussion. Report back to me. Tell me, did I do that wrong? Should I put Na, not NaCl? Talk to your chemistry teacher if you need to. All right, so sodium, we have 300 milligrams in the steak. We have 150 in the baked potato, and then the green beans must have a little seasoning because they've got 200, and then the total that Joy consumed was 875. All right, go ahead and set up your augmented matrix from that system and solve it. Then compare your answer to mine. All right, folks, welcome back. You can see my augmented matrix over here, the 3x4 matrix. I entered this as matrix B. It doesn't really matter which one you enter it as. I just chose B because I already had A used and decided I wanted to hang on to A for now, and I can delete it later, whatever. But here's the information I get: 1002, 010.5, and 0011. Now, as we know, that means we have an ordered triple of 2, 1/2, and 1. But in this application problem, we want to actually answer the question, how many servings of each food did Joy eat? So it would be 2 servings of steak. Now that is a good meal. Half a potato, and 1 serving of green beans. All right, folks, I hope this brief lesson has you eager to work, take good notes, come to class, and work hard. Have a great day.